Okay, so we're live back again for another session looking at some tips and strategies that can help you optimize your Facebook campaigns. And today we're going to look at custom audiences, which ones are right for you and how to go about setting them up. So I'm going to start by just going to my PowerPoint here. Okay, so yes, custom audiences. So in this video, we want to really look at, let me just move that video out of the way there, looking at the three sort of audience types, which one should you start with, and basically how you go about setting them up. So as you may or may not already know, there are basic three types of audiences you can create and work with on Facebook. The first one is the saved audience, really is also known as really interest-based audience, which is where a lot of businesses you're starting from. The second level really is custom audiences. That's what we're going to talk about today. And the third one is lookalike audiences. Now, in future videos, I'm going to separately look at the saved audiences and lookalike audiences and go into those in a bit more detail. But here, we're just going to primarily look at custom audiences. And also, when it comes to custom audiences, you know, this is where a lot of power within Facebook really is in the creation and the development of your custom audiences. So custom audiences generally have data that's more about actions and behaviors of prospective customers than just, say, a general interest. But obviously there are many different types within those custom audiences, and we're going to look at those now, and basically also how to set them up. So if you've when you set up audiences to start with, very much on Facebook, you get that option that says create custom audience, create lookalike audience, or create saved audience, and we'd be selecting that create a custom audience. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to now go and look at actually the Facebook account. Oh, here we are. And let me just move this out of the way. So if you want to get to your audiences and creating those audience setups, you're looking at this small drop down in the right-hand corner over here. We're clicking on that and going down to manage ads, which will then take you to your main ads account here. Now what you want to do is to click under the icon in the corner here to show the full menu. Now I've got audiences showing up here because that's under the frequently used. You might not have that. You might want to go to all tools and then all the way over under assets, you'll find audiences. And that's okay. And then actually what I'll do, I'll just go down to my online guitar business as a good starting point for talking about this. So once that's decided whether it's going to load, okay, there we go. So now, once you're in the audiences, you're on create audiences, and we're looking at that custom audience. Now, as you'll see, there are a number of different ways that you can actually, well, a number of ways and an expanding number of ways you can actually create those custom audiences. So, and this is generally for people who actually have been more either active on Facebook for a while, built a bit of profile or following, or they've built up a bigger customer base. So they've got more information to feed back into Facebook in order to identify the right type of audience. As I say, if the custom audiences, if you're not ready to start with custom audiences just yet, then you'll need to look at creating saved audiences on interest-based, and I'll be doing a video about that very shortly. So the main ways you're going to create your custom audiences is either through a customer file, and this is basically, it could be uploading an email addresses, pure email addresses really, of actual customers, or they could just be leads. But the point is they obviously have got data within them about them obviously having taken action and either opted into your list or actually purchased from you. So they're a great source for them to say, go to Facebook and say, okay, can you find these people on Facebook? And then can you find more people who look like them? So there's different ways you can add those customer files. You can copy and paste it, import it from MailChimp, or there is a more advanced version if you've got into looking at customer lifetime value. But that's a little bit further down the line. So if you've already got a good database of either leads or customers, then it's worth testing out, uploading them via this route. As I say, you can just select your file and then map that through. But ideally, you need sort of source files for those of about 1,000 people in order for Facebook to be able to get good numbers of matches too. If your data source is too small, then Facebook will say it's not ready. Sorry, it's not available, or audience too small. If you look a bit down here, there's a couple of here that I've done where it says audience too small. But once you get up to a larger number, you can see that says customer list has allowed me to build that. So that's one way, if you've got a good customer list, of creating custom audience. The second way is website traffic. Now, this is obviously assuming you've got your Facebook Pixel installed on your site. If you haven't got that, there's a video I put out last week about setting up your Facebook Pixel. But fundamentally, that's getting your Facebook Pixel installed as soon as possible means you can start to build data about who's visiting your site, and you can use that data to then build a custom audience. Okay, a third route is app activity, and that's if you've got an app set up within Facebook, or they've now got offline activity. So if you're tracking offline as well as online sales and engagement and interaction, you can do it. And the final one is engagement. Now, this is one where a lot of people can actually start at this level. If you haven't got much website traffic, you may not have a customer file, you can look at engagement, creating an audience from that. And so within engagement, you can have a look at creating an audience based on people who've watched your videos or watched a certain percentage of your videos, who've responded to leads, if you've done lead form advertising, or if you've done full screen advertising. This is a more broad-based one using the Facebook page. So basically, if anybody's interacted with your page, you can create an audience from it. And the same thing from your Instagram and from your events. So these are all good, these engagement ones, if maybe you've not actually got the big customer file yet, or you've not got enough website traffic, but you've got a lot of engagement on Facebook. So you can use that engagement that you've got to help you build a custom audience. So, and once you've got that custom audience, obviously then you can use that in targeting your ads. And you can test different types of audiences. You know, I'm always looking at understanding how different audiences from different data sources. So this was like a video engagement source, and I can test that against a customer list to see which performs better and which is going to get me the best results. So in terms of custom audiences, as I say, you really want to be looking at either making sure you've got the Facebook Pixel installed, so that's starting to work, is probably your first thing to do. The second thing is probably looking at if you've got a big enough either email list of leads or actual customers, try importing that one. If you haven't got those, then have a look at the engagement, see if you've got enough people engaging with your pages and posts to create an audience from that. And as you can see from what I've done, you know, you end up creating multiple different audiences all the time, and that gives you the opportunity to keep testing those audiences. If I go back to my guitar page, my Guitar Coach magazine, which is my online business, once that's loaded, eventually, you can see that I've created a number of audiences. And it's something that you create and do on an ongoing basis, create more audiences as you test and as you learn and refine you're targeting. Okay, so hopefully that will give you a brief look at custom audiences. As I say, in future videos, I'm going to look at the actual saved audiences and working with those, because obviously if you haven't got the engagement or you haven't got the data yet to get into custom audiences, then saved audiences is where you want to go to. Okay, and obviously if there's anything else, actually I was just going to go back to my sort of slides here. That was on customer files. Yes, so is there anything else you want to learn about developing a better understanding of what is the right product for you to push onto Facebook, push using Facebook advertising, or how to identify that right audience and messaging, then you can always contact me via my website. Okay, so that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll speak to you again really soon. Bye for now.